Hello.
Okay.
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I think maybe I should dial in.
There we go.
Hey, Kenny, can you hear me?
Yes, James, what's up? Where are you?
Hey, I'm doing this on my phone. I never used my phone before, so.
Oh, there you go. Hey, whatever works, right? Are you in Oklahoma or are you at home or near home?
No, I'm up in the Dells.
At
Sandara Spa in the Dells.
Oh, there you go. Why do you have that background?
That's a croc called Granddad that Karen and I saw in Australia. We were on the Adelaide River and the thing's jumping up and grabbing a piece of buffalo meat.
Oh. Here, I thought it was a themed room over at that hotel. Is Clint joining us today? Do we know?
I don't know. I wasn't sure if I was going to have internet or not.
Whoa. Oh my God. Is Kristen? Oh, Kristen?
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Morning, Kristen.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Jimmy, want to kick it off? We ready to go?
Yeah, if I can get agenda here. I think roll call is the first order of business. I'm having a hard time seeing the screen here.
All
I'm gonna
right.
try it this way. Okay, calling the August 10th Tourism Commission meeting to order. Roll call will be done by attendance. And first order of business is that dog days? No, review of the minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
We
not
have
at
a
the,
motion to approve the,
I have to abstain.
Jackie, I'll move to approve the July 13th, 2020 minutes.
Ritzel second, all in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? So moved. All right. Again, I'm having a hard time seeing the agenda here, but is dog days next?
Yes, it is a presentation on dog days and the traveling food truck tour.
All righty. Take it away, Chris.
Is everyone able to see my screen? It says I'm sharing it. Or
Yes.
no? You are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That was, yeah.
For some reason, I'm not able to scroll down. I am not sure. I'm just having some technical difficulties. Sorry. Do you mind if I just speak to the agenda item?
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Okay. Sorry about
I'd
that.
rather hear you look at a piece of paper anyway.
Kristen, if you click on Adobe, it might let you scroll. It might be stuck on the Zoom. Or Kristen, if you stop sharing and then instead of choosing just Adobe, choose your whole desktop and that will probably work for you.
Um, I, it just does not like me. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening with this. Okay, it's fine. I'll just speak to it. It's totally okay. So Dog Days at Drexel was Friday, July 24th and Saturday, July 25th. For Friday, we had 15 vendors sign up, and Saturday we had 16 vendors plus the farmers market vendors. So Saturday we actually combined the farmers market with the Dog Days event. So we had a few vendors that dropped out of the event last minute just with the whole situation happening. But overall, I feel like we did have a solid amount of people that participated. And we also had Pier Pup stock diving come out for Friday and Saturday. Friday was the trial session, and then Saturday was the full competition. So that's always a popular thing to have at the events. And we did practice social distancing, and we had some guidelines in place. We did ask vendors to wear a mask. We used spray chalk at the event to keep 6 feet of social distancing for vendors. And then we also asked that no samples were given, and we required all sick vendors to come home or stay at home. So overall, I think people did a good job of just keeping their distance at the event. We did have some DPW staff on site that were disinfecting the bathrooms and tables after someone would get done eating. So that also helped. And I feel like the attendees saw that we were doing that too. So then in addition to that, we also had hand sanitizing stations on site. So people would just walk past and sanitize their hands too. So overall, I mean, I think we had good attendance. The weather was actually really great. It was 78 and sunny with a little cloudiness on Saturday. And after talking to the attendees and the vendors, it sounds like everyone really enjoyed the event. But yeah, I'm not sure if any of you were able to make it. I know Kim actually had a booth on site. So if you had any comments about the event, but overall, I feel like it was really good 2 days.
I think, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kristen?
Yes.
I think the attendees were very impressed with how well it was run. They were looking for more. I think you've set a precedent where they were looking for like the doggy show or costume contest. I heard kind of feedback about that. But they were very like happy with how well it was put on. Most people wore masks, I felt. I would say if I had to take a guess, probably 90% of the people wore masks. And, you know, a big shout out to the Oak Creek workers that did wipe down the tables and, you know, were really helping out at the event. I don't think it was overrun in any way. I mean, it was very spaced out, and, you know, I think people really appreciated just being out in the sunshine, kind of walking through an event. So I appreciate your efforts in putting it on, because it at least helps us, you know, continue that brand for next year as well. So kudos to you and what you did there. It was good.
Yeah, and just to comment on that too, I think people were looking for something to do outside. You know, they really appreciated, you know, having something to come to, but also kept their space at the event. So overall, I think we had a lot of positive feedback.
Yep, I agree.
Then Kim, did you guys get just a sense for attendance? Not looking for numbers, but just kind of anecdotally, you know, more than you thought, less than you thought?
It's kind of hard to judge attendance just because it's so spaced out.
Right.
And I did ask, because I've been making an effort to go to the farmers market every week too. So I have been asking the farmers market vendors what they thought of the days, like, were their sales up? What is that? And they kind of felt the crowds were the same as a farmers market day. Definitely not what we normally anticipate, but very manageable. And at least, you know, it gave people the opportunity to be outside. Like Kristen said, the weather's nice, and people made comments are like, it's really nice to walk around and to take advantage of the city resources. So even though I say size was down significantly, I would say there was probably 200 to 400 people there on Saturday, and probably 200 to 300 people on Friday, through that whole time frame. Like, it was like a long day, Kristen. I don't know if you thought that as well. Like at some point, like for Friday, you know, because the crowds were down so much, I wish we didn't go to 9 o'clock. That last hour was pretty painful to kind of hang out there. And then Saturday the same. You know, they were just really long days for not as many people. But obviously, how do you even plan that? Because you just don't know what the turnout is going to kind of be. But that's my feedback on the question on attendance.
Thank you.
Well, I can also speak to the food truck tour as well, as the first agenda item. So we had our first food truck tour on Wednesday, July 29th. We had about 14 food trucks that came to the square. And this year we actually spread them out on the sides of the square. We had them park in the parking spots, which worked out well just to spread things out a little bit more. But we were lucky enough to have good weather again. So we saw a lot of people come out around 7 or 8 p.m. And we actually had one scheduled for June, and that one was pushed back to September. So we have 3 more that are remaining. We have one at the end of August, and then we have 2 more in September. But
Great.
Those same guidelines were in place too. And we also had some extra DPW people on site disinfecting some tables and bathrooms and that kind of thing.
Kristen, do you feel that, I mean, because this is kind of a turnkey event for, you know, the contract that we have with them, do you feel that they have been consistent in kind of applying our standards with respect to health and safety to the event?
Yes, I would say so, because they bring about 4 people of their own employees on site that also assist with that kind of thing and disinfecting. And they walk around and ask all the vendors to wear masks as well. So I feel like they have been pretty good about that, and we'll send them a list of things that we're looking for before the event too. So yeah, they were pretty good about that.
I attended the event as well, and I thought that how you said that they were spaced out a little bit more on the side streets, and you know, it was very well spaced out, and you could easily maintain your, distance from others if you wanted to. So it didn't seem like you're standing in line, you're kind of bumping into. It was very well, I thought, organized that way.
Great. Okay. Well, Kristen, I don't have a agenda at all now, so you're gonna have to tell me what the next item is.
Sorry about that. So the next one is discussion on the Oak Creek Beer Gardens.
Okay, go for it.
So we have 2 beer gardens scheduled this year. The first one is Thursday, August 20th through Sunday, August 23rd in Drexel Town Square. We are partnering with Explorium Brew Pub again, so we will have a mix of craft beers from local Milwaukee brewers. And we will have live music. This is the first time we're running this beer garden in Drexel Town Square, so it'll be interesting to see how the attendance compares to the different parks that we have. And then Sunday, we are combining that beer garden with Chamberfest. I believe I saw Sarah Anderson on the Zoom call today. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything, Sarah, to that. But on Sunday, we'll also invite chamber members to the event, and they'll have a booth on site.
That's great.
Yes, we have 18 confirmed services and products kind of vendors from our chamber. And we have 2 chamber members who are providing food. So we have the Pina Mexican Eats food truck and Saz's Hospitality Group going to be providing food for that chamber festival event.
That's great. That's excellent. And this will be a great chance for some people that haven't come into Drexel Town Square to see it.
Right.
I don't know, there's many
Absolutely.
left
And we're, our chamber in the surrounding community.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there will be new people.
So we're
right.
bringing in Franklin chamber members.
Great. That's awesome.
Kristen,
It'll be
how
good.
are you doing on
Lots of
volunteers?
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What are you doing on volunteers for the weekend?
We got a few more volunteers. Super excited about that. So what we did is we reached out to the nonprofit groups in the area and we said, hey, if you volunteer for a day with 4 other people from your group, you can keep all tips from the bar. So that kind of encouraged people to sign up. So I think we're actually good Thursday through Sunday now.
Great.
And then we also have a second beer garden that's taking place in September at Lake Vista Park. That one is September 17th through the 20th. And that Saturday, it'll be combined with the Confluence event that we're partnering with Milwaukee on. So Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, it'll be just the beer garden with live music. And then Saturday, we're throwing in some of those art vendors and on-site activities, which we'll get to later in this meeting too.
There's other beer gardens happening around the city, correct, Kristen? We're not the first city to have a beer garden this year.
There are, yeah. Milwaukee County's running theirs. I believe the Whitnell Park one is running and some others in Milwaukee County, but they actually use plastic cups only, so people aren't allowed to bring their pint glasses back to get those filled. So yeah, you would just keep using the disposable cups for that. And they also have like a system for their picnic tables where if it's dirty, they put a red brick on it, letting people know it's dirty. And then when it's clean to sit, they switch that out with a green brick, which I thought was interesting. So might do something similar to that.
Do you advertise for people to bring their own chairs, like even for food days, that they could socially distance and sit in their own safe chair kind of a thing instead of looking for a table?
We do. We could probably do more of that. Maybe the day of the event, we could send out a reminder on social media. That's actually a good idea. We should probably do that.
Because we haven't done that in the past, right? We haven't asked people to bring chairs in the past.
We've put it in the actual like event on social media, but we haven't like called it out in a separate post, which we could do. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Are we actually setting up tables in the square?
So I think we were going to rent a few tables, maybe 10 or so, but just spread them further apart in the grass area of Drexel Town Square, but then also encourage people to bring their own chairs and tables.
Do we plan on, like, I did go to the South Shore Beer Garden this weekend, and they did the brick thing where you were saying they have like a green brick if it was sanitized and a red brick if it was not, kind of thing. And somebody
okay.
came with some kind of solution in like a bottle and just kind of sprayed it, like even on a wooden picnic table. And then they changed it over and they're like, now you sit. But they were very, very strict with, okay, you can't just grab whatever table you want. And I don't know if we want to be responsible for something like that, but at least that was their deal. You know, she would come over and do their thing. I don't know what kind of sanitizing, you know, method it was, but you had to have that on. And you also had to have masks while walking around too. They were very, very strict about that. So I don't know.
Okay.
We have to enforce that kind of thing or to do that. I don't know.
We're not requiring masks in the outdoors, are we?
So right now, I don't think we can require anyone to wear a mask or enforce that, especially because everything's outside. But what we could do is highly encourage it and advertise that. You know, when you're in line waiting to get your beer, you would wear your mask and wear it until you get to where you're sitting. And then when you get there, you could take it off and drink your beer.
Yeah, that's how they did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way that the order is written. Is this, if you're in a space within 6 feet of another person, it's actually written in the order that you have to wear a mask. So we can definitely put that language on the Facebook event. I'm already talking to my vendors about it as well.
And that, you know, just understandably, there remains a great deal of concern about putting on large gatherings sponsored by the city, and just to make those as safe as possible. So rather than just, you know, recommending that, I mean, I think Sarah, you mentioned in the order. I mean, if you're going up and standing in line to get a beer, got to wear a mask. You know?
Yes.
Yes.
So I mean, it's not that, from that standpoint, that's not optional. I mean,
It is not optional.
You have to do it. So I mean, I don't know if you ever get to the point of not denying service for someone. Obviously, that gets a little trickier, but because of other circumstances. But you know, it's more than just recommending that you wear a mask. I mean, you need to have a mask if you're going to partake in this event.
Basically, if you are standing in line and waiting for a beer or waiting for food, you need to have a mask on. If you are seated in your innermost circle and you're, you know, actually enjoying your beer with your group, then you may remove your mask. That is pretty much the ordinance as it stands.
Are there going to be signs that say that, Kristen?
We can make some.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that'll help people. Just, I feel like 80% of the people are going to have the mask, and then you're going to get some people pressured to put on their mask because they're going to see 80% of the people wearing the mask. But I feel like the signs will take the pressure off of the people to enforce it. At least it'll be like very visible that that's the expectation at our event. So
Just
Sure. Maybe we could put like an A-frame.
yeah.
Yeah, you can just explain that it's Governor Evers, not the city of Oak Creek domain.
Well, we want everyone to be safe, and we want to do it safely so we can do more. So it's just non-negotiable. So
Yeah, I mean, especially for the people who are there bartending for 4 hours at a time. That's, you know, I think that's appropriate that there's an expectation that, I mean, wear the mask for the, you know, 30 seconds that you're getting your beer, and then whatever you would do after that is up to you.
right.
Fair enough.
Kristen and I will work on some mask language and some things we're actually meeting this afternoon to button up some details. So we'll get it done.
I think I saw somewhere from Dawn Carrillo for at the farmer's market. She was going to have somebody selling masks, maybe a volunteer group or a business to sell masks. Are you going to maybe try to have a vendor selling masks at this weekend's events as well?
We could. I'll talk to Dawn about that. I guess I didn't know there was a vendor that did
I
sell
mean, it's
masks.
a good idea. Sorry.
Usually I direct them to Meyer, which is next door, because I know that they do sell masks, but maybe having one on site would help too.
Yeah. Because, sometimes you have those medical ones and it busts on your way somewhere. So it would be nice if we are trying to encourage that for their safety, to have somebody selling them there. And even if we're selling it, that the proceeds go to charity, or it's a business that makes the masks and they're selling it, just that we have a resource on site. I think that would be a nice added value.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'll talk to Dawn. That's a good idea. Okay, well, the next agenda item, if you guys aren't able to see the agenda, is the Bacon 5K walk run that we scheduled for the beginning of September. So Patrick Flynn, that's the person who we're working with. We have been talking the past couple weeks, and we were just monitoring the situation and runs overall. So after talking, I think that we are able to host the event at Lake Vista Park, and we are going to move forward with that. It was going to be a Friday, Saturday type event, but now we're looking at it just Saturday. We're going to have check-in in the morning. People would come with their masks on for check-in, and then during the actual run, people could take their masks off and just keep that distance from other people. And then afterward, there would be a small gathering after party where there'd be some vendors and then some beer options too for runners after the event. And this event was in Racine, and the organizer, Patrick, came to Lake Vista Park for one of the beer gardens, and he really liked the layout for the park. So it's actually moving from Racine to Oak Creek, which is exciting. So people are able to register for that run currently online. And that was in the support documents, but I can share that with everyone. So I think in the next couple weeks, we're going to start promoting that people can sign up. It'll be held Saturday, September 5th. So it'll be from about 9 a.m. to noon that day.
That's Labor Day weekend?
Yes, I believe that is Labor Day weekend.
And is that when they held it in Racine in the past?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Great.
But I can also bring more information to at our next meeting. So I actually think it'll be passed, but I'll bring a recap about how that goes. And yeah, it's a new event for this year, so I think people are really looking forward to it.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
So then the last item on the agenda is the Confluence Art event. And in the support documents, I put a PowerPoint in there for what Milwaukee created as where we're at. So they have a music lineup for that day, and this will take place during the beer garden at Lake Vista Park. And I know last year we had the rain out, so we weren't able to host this event. So this year we are looking to add a little bit more. Instead of the sculptures on site, we're looking more at chalk drawings, on site paintings, and that kind of thing. And we have an artist market where we're looking to expand that. So we're looking at 20 vendors or so to be set up in Lake Vista Park in that grass area. So we have some arts and crafts vendors, and then we'll also have food trucks on site. Right now we have about 6 signed up, and we're looking to expand that a little more before the event. So we're hoping to have a good attendance for this event and spread everything out. It'll be a little bit easier too in Lake Vista Park just because it's bigger than Drexel Town Square, so we're able to spread that out a little bit more for vendors and activities. But Milwaukee does have a big following, so they're going to plan to advertise on their website and Facebook page. And then we're actually linking it back to the Visit Oak Creek page. So we'll get a lot more traffic on our website as well. But yeah, we just actually made it an event on our Facebook page, and there's been a lot of interest so far. So yeah, we're all pretty excited about this one, and we're just making it a little bit bigger than last year. So it'll be very arts, music, and food. But yeah, I can answer any questions if anyone had any about the event.
So you mentioned we're not necessarily commissioning any more large scale kind of installation pieces. That was obviously a change from from last year?
Yes. So it'll be more the day of. We're looking at maybe having some artists come and do some murals on site, but they wouldn't stay at the park. They would just take that with them once the event is done. Except for the chalk drawing, that would be there until, you know, as long as the weather allows.
No, I like the layout. Looks like but Lake Vista is a big place, so this should be, assuming we got some decent weather, should be a decent event.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have this one customer that I know, and he has this ability to take pictures and apply like backgrounds to it. And then people can kind of text and post that on their social media. Do you know if we would want something like that to kind of help build the brand? Because I know we're really spaced out, and you know, the more people post about the event for future success, it might help. And maybe, you know, because you can't do fun things like face painting or anything like that, but maybe if we took pictures of people and then applied, you know, they have it where they put like funny ears on them, or they could be holding like a paintbrush or something, and then it's texted to them. So it's all.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Would you be able to send that vendor that contact?
Yeah, I will. We've used them before at US Bank, and like we had themes where it was like a basketball theme. So people had basketballs imposed in their hands and they were on a court, but he was just taking pictures of them and kind of cutting those images in. It was fast and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, and that is the last item on the agenda.
Awesome. Well, great job. It was interesting doing this on my phone. Very small screen, obviously.
You survived, yeah, good.
It's very interesting that you have a crocodile coming out of your head.
I was telling Kenny that's
Better than the other way around, I guess.
That's a 99-year-old croc that Karen and I saw in Australia, and he's jumping up, grabbing a piece of buffalo meat. Pretty cool.
But
okay,
but did you make that specifically for Zoom meetings, or what is that?
I just went through and grabbed one of my pictures and threw it up there.
Very good. I love it, Jim. You were the highlight of the meeting, so thank you.
I'll try to get something a little more fashionable next time.
All right.
All right. Well, do we have a motion for adjournment?
Well, I would make a motion. Yep.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Great job. Good update.
Thanks, Jim.
See you,
All right.
people.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.